But basically, you're killing the cows that you can see, blink forward. If they start coming too close, walk back. But when you blink, what you want to do is lay down a good bed of these Electrofield sentries so you can blink into the center of them. Then you're safe. If they try to charge you, they'll die instantly because your damage is good enough to kill them. Hey guys, Fade here. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Electrofield Sentry Assassin. That's what I'm coining this build for right now, just because that's the main skill. And I just want to let you guys know right off the bat that I borrowed heavily from a build by Nitz. He wrote a guide on the Limpet Laser Sin about a year ago, and he just recently updated it to Median 2017, which is what I'm playing right now. With this build, I was the second person to reach 121, and a lot of people have been asking me what build that I've been using, so I figured I'd make a short video about it. Nothing too in-depth. So let's talk about the items that you're gonna need. There's a main theme here. Everything's gonna revolve around lightning, you know? You're gonna wanna find as much percentage to lightning spell damage as you can. As you can see, I have 35% on this one. It's been MO'd and tried the luck upgrade, but I don't think it really did anything. The Royal Circlet it's a rare item. You don't need this. You can ornate craft, which is what I did with the quilted armor, the leather gloves, and the boots. They're all ornate crafts, which have been blessed as well. And that gives you a whole bunch of lightning spell damage, which is what we're looking for. In this case, defense doesn't matter at all. So that is why I went with the leather gloves, the boots, and the quilted armor, because their strength requirement is lower, which means we get more points in energy, which means more damage down the line, which is great. More damage is the name of the game. So, with that in mind, we're looking for lightning spell damage and lightning minus to lightning resistance for the enemies. So you can use a circlet and just ornate craft it for this. And for the belt, this was a really lucky find on my part. This is like the ideal belt for this slot. You don't need this. You can use a truce belt, which is a rune word Vith. And that gives you the 10% damage reduced, which is huge. It's awesome. We don't need as much damage reduced as other builds because we have a skill that gives us a void, and we have this skill here that gives us damage reduction as well when we do a just a melee attack. So, with our shield, it's going to be a little bit different. This one I found on Nitz's Limpet Laser Sin guide, and he recommends this shield because it allows you to summon skeletal flayers, which have an aura. Let me bring them up. The Demon Blood aura, which gives you maximum life plus 50%, which is great, and elemental spell damage plus 58%, which is pretty freaking huge. The only problem with these guys is that they die pretty quickly, so you're going to be resummoning a whole heck of a lot. Which, you know, it's not that big of a deal because it's a pretty big buff. Life and damage, can't really beat it. Okay, and then rings. My rings are garbage, but I managed to get to 121 with them. This gear is really cheap. You guys can do this pretty easily. The one thing that really saved me is my friend who is actually in the game had found this Lightning Arena amulet. And if you don't know what Lightning Arena is, it's frickin' awesome. He's talking to me in the game. Lightning Arena makes this arena around you, and it respawns every 5 seconds. And what that does, especially in the cow levels, is it keeps the cows at bay. When they're running at you, they just get stuck on this thing, and then you can just, boom, you can just zap them right along there, which is great. So I highly recommend that if you can find it. If not, just go with a +3 skill, lightning spell damage, and ideally minus to lightning enemy resistance, which is a common theme among all of the items. You pretty much want those on every item if you can. So the other thing I want to talk about is the jewels. We are using a lot of crafted jewels. Let me see if I have an example. Here I do. You can find the recipe for this jewel in the documentation, which is, the documentations are so OP, they're great. This is a Zod crafted rune. I would definitely try and recraft until you get something like this. 10% fast cast rate, 1% to spell damage is low. I'd rather see 2, but 1% to bonus all attributes, 39 to life and 39 mana. This is pretty much an ideal gem, only if it had the 2 to spell damage. But when these gems add up, these seem like small bonuses, but it's crazy. Right now with all these gems that I have, or jewels that I have socketed in here, it's more than 70% spell damage to all spells, which is great because you're going to run into some lightning immunes, and then you might have to use your fire sentry instead. So it's great. It's great. Just all around spell damage, plus just added bonuses here and there. The energy factor to spell damage, that stuff's all from jewels. Faster hit recovery, that stuff's important. You get more faster cast rate. Can't recommend jewels enough. They're great. That's why I have so many of them, something like 27. But with this build, I was able to farm cows up to level 121, as you can see. And I was able to get all of these charms, with the exception of this one, the Idol of Vanity I had help with from my friend, and the Crystalline Flame Medallion. We did that one together as well. But the rest of these are totally doable. Oh, Zazax. I did a lot of the killing on Zazax, but my friend had kept the portal open for me, so it made it a hell of a lot smoother. But yeah, even with all this low-level, easy-to-make gear, you can kill Zazax, which is supposedly like the toughest boss in the game. He's not really, but it's doable. Cool, right? And even Quav Sin, killed him. I just needed to respec for, I made some rings with just a bunch of resistances on them, and replaced all my jewels with turquoises, onyxes, bloodstones, and whatever the other one is. The max resistance jewels. So you just want to stack resistances and he goes down like nothing. It's great. So let me give you an idea of how this build actually plays. So you're going to want to buff... oh, let me show you the skill tree first, actually. So you're going to want 1 point into Shadow Refuge, and that's going to give you some speed and damage reduction when you melee attack. I use that on left click. And I put points into my blink until the cooldown is 2.6 seconds. Any lower than that and it becomes inefficient for the skill points because it's diminishing returns. So 1 point in all these. Up to Perfect Being, you definitely want to max this one out. Avoid is the best defensive skill in the game, so yeah, as many points as you can possibly put in that, do it. Max out Tiefling form. That gives you a bunch of dexterity and life. It's not as good as it used to be because it doesn't give you faster cast rate, but it's still pretty good. Electrofield Sentry, that's a given. That's our main damage dealer. And it's really your choice if you want to go with Psionic Storm as your secondary damage dealer or Fireball Sentry. It's really up to you, whichever you prefer. Right now I'm using Psionic Storm, but sometimes I'll use the Fireball. And that's just for the lightning immune enemies. And I have 1 point vampiric icon, which I use on occasion if I really need to like overheal through something. And Way of the Griffin. This, I'm not too sure if this is like correct. It's lightning damage, which is why I did it. A lot of people will say Phase Bomb because it has the minus to enemy resistances, which is great. But I kind of like Queen of Blades, which inflicts physical damage. So if I were to use a Phase Bomb and Queen of Blades, that would just kill me instantly. So that's why I kind of like the Way of the Griffin. It's just more of a passive, don't need to think about it. It's a little better for my style. You know what I'm saying? I think that was all the skills to go through, yeah. And one important thing was to get your Merc all set up. If you want to get to 121, this is crucial. He is going to be tankier than you. So you want to make honorifics, and you want to put the same kind of jewels in there, spell damage jewels, the Zod crafted ones. And you want to MO them with enhanced defense, because you want to beef them up. You want them to be super tanky. And you want fire damage for sure. The other slots are really up to you. I just did damage reduction and strength, because that actually adds to their spell damage. So it's basically just the highest tier items defensively that you can get. With the sword, that's the only difference really. You want to do faster cast rate instead of enhanced damage, because his damage doesn't really make a difference here. And then for the necklace, I like using a Doom amulet. If you can't find that, just like a skill amulet with fire. That's totally fine. But yeah, pretty easy peasy. Honorific, fire damage, enhanced defense. That's what you need to know for all of these, and the Zod crafted jewels. And this guy will just tank for you forever. He'll never die before you, I promise. Okay, so let's get a little bit of a demonstration of how this build actually works in a cow level. I did not get the map because I'm lazy, but that's fine. I'm not going to do the whole cow level, I'm just going to show you what's up. Oh, good old lag. Hello, lag. So hopefully this will kind of set some people at ease. Hello? I really want the leg. Can I have the leg? Son of a bitch. There we go. Alright, we've finally been granted permission to take Wert's leg and transform it into a magical Moo portal. Alright. There we go. Okay, so first thing I do when I get in, summon all my skeleton flayers. If you have Ederims, go ahead and summon them too, couldn't hurt. When you're first starting out in the cow level is when you need to be the most careful. One other thing I need to mention actually is you want some reanimates, which, ooh, I don't think I have any actually, because I lost my rings and my amulet to a body deletion, which was kind of sad. But those had my reanimates on it, so this won't go quite as well as it did when I was going to 121. But basically, you're killing the cows that you can see, blink forward. If they start coming too close, walk back. But when you blink, what you want to do is lay down a good bed of these Electrofield sentries so you can blink into the center of them. Then you're safe. If they try to charge you, they'll die instantly because your damage is good enough to kill them. But yeah, it pretty much works like that. Just rinse and repeat until 121-0. Boom. Okay. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about this with this build. Like I said, it's not too super in-depth. I hope you enjoy. Hopefully it gives you some inspiration. Definitely check out Nitz's Limpet Laser Sin build. I did borrow a lot from that, just so you know. It's in the Median XL forums under game and character guides. So check that out. Okay, see you guys later. Thanks for watching.